We've been talking a lot about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, but now we have to talk about the other Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's sister. Her name is Christine. You see in this picture here, you'll see here's Ghislaine Maxwell sitting there in the black t-shirt. And just above her is her sister, Christine. This is Christine here in the gray and white black jacket there. Now, you may be wondering, what does this have to do with anything? Well, it turns out that Christine was actually around some pretty high profile people herself. In fact, when we start looking into this, I think you may get some of those answers that you wanted about why Ghislaine Maxwell was chosen to be a part of that 9/11 Shadow Commission. It's all in the family. When we look at Christine, let's look at her history a little bit here, shall we? This is a doozy. This is a doozy. Of course, you know that she's Ghislaine's sister. She is also a twin, which we'll tell you about as well, because there's some spooky things that happen with them. Take a look at this. Maxwell was an editor of Pergamon Press Publishers in the early 1970s. According to Tatler, Maxwell spent most of the 1970s and 1980s working for her father, which included running the West Coast office of Pergamon Press and involvement in one of his software acquisitions. Hold on to that because that's important. You got to remember Robert Maxwell, big publishing mogul. That matters when we talk about foreign policy and Ghislaine Maxwell's connections as well. She was also a middle school teacher. She became a school editor for A. Wheaton and Company in Exeter, England. Maxwell is the author of Pergamon Dictionary of Perfect Spelling, first published by Pergamon Press. Let's get to the technology part. This is where things get wild. She became the first resident of the San Francisco Bay Area in 1979. In 1982, Christine Maxwell acquired Information on Demand, one of the earliest information brokers, which was later named Research on Demand. She is the creator and co-founder of Magellan, one of the first professionally curated online search reference guides to internet content. In other words, managing what you could see at that point in time for internet research. In 1992, she created and co-authored the first hard copy reference guides to the internet, New Writers Official Internet Yellow Pages, and the McKinley Internet Yellow Pages, both published by Macmillan Publishers. Check this out. After Magellan, I'll highlight this part. After Magellan was acquired by competing search engine Excite in 1996, she co-founded Chiliad, a software company involved in the advance of on-demand, massively scalable, intelligent mining of structured and unstructured data through the use of natural language search technologies. I'll tell you what Chiliad was about in just a second. The firm's software was behind the data search technology used by the FBI's counterterrorism data warehouse. As of August 2019, Maxwell served as the board director of Chiliad. So Ghislaine Maxwell's sister, Christine, started this company called Chiliad, and Chiliad basically worked with the FBI for counterterrorism data. We'll come back to that part. We'll show you Chiliad right here. Like, this is wild, you guys. Let me make this bigger. I wish I could get rid of this window here, but I guess I can't. So Chiliad, the company that solved the 9/11 connecting the dots problem. Like, this is wild, you guys, right? So let's go on here. Chiliad's founders were influenced by the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster and the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Now, let's all remember again, Ghislaine Maxwell was invited to be a part of that 9/11 Shadow Commission. And I said, out of all the people in the world, you got diplomats, you got other politicians. Why would they invite Ghislaine Maxwell, someone who's a socialite? Now I think we may have that answer. Investigations into both events concluded that information stored in incompatible databases and documents maintained by different departments and organizations could have allowed managers and officials to prevent those disasters. But there simply was no existing technology to connect the dots across so many incompatible systems and organizations. Efforts to solve this problem hastened development efforts within Chiliad and drove the first deployment of Chiliad software within the U.S. intelligence community to create a virtual knowledge environment across distributed information, stovepipes, databases, and applications. Ghislaine Maxwell's sister, Christine, started a software application that was connected to U.S. intelligence. And keep in mind, she immigrated here. This family, it's all in the family. It's not just Ghislaine Maxwell. It's not just her dad, Robert Maxwell. They've been connected. Now, when we go on a little bit more here, I want you to see this. Both the FBI and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the lead U.S. agencies in the war on terrorism, have seen the unique value Chiliad offers and have deployed the company's software to tame the mountains of data that must be sifted and analyzed to accomplish their mission. Tupacalypse says Whitney Webb is like, I told y'all. You see, this whole Epstein thing, I said, it's not just about the trafficking. It goes so much deeper than that. So you got a sister that's connected to U.S. intelligence. You got a father that's connected to the Mossad. And you just happen to be connected to a boyfriend that you have that's trafficking people, and you're helping them traffic people. Why would they ever go after her? She ended up being later on just the fall guy, Ghislaine Maxwell there, but not the head of the snake, of course. You see, it all goes back again to this document that kind of stunned everybody. I covered this, I think it was about a week ago, we covered this story. Thanks to the invite, unfortunately, I cannot be on the Shadow Commission. This was coming from Ed Epstein, different Epstein, asking her, Ghislaine Maxwell, if she was interested in being a part of the Shadow Commission on 9/11. Do you see how deep this goes with this family and this upper crust society? So why would people come after the head of the snake? Why would they actually stop this trafficking, this criminal enterprise? If you have connections to intelligence, remember we reported that there was an NYPD officer / detective that was also listed as a co-conspirator. So you got the NYPD in your back pocket. You have the FBI intelligence in your back pocket. There was no way they were ever going to try to stop this criminal enterprise. But it gets crazier. It's not just about the intelligence connection. Something else happened, and we're gonna check it ourselves just to make sure I am not seeing things. This guy posted this video about Christine, and he talked about her connection to a fellowship that she has which all of a sudden is no longer on that website. Watch this.
Ghislaine Maxwell has 8 siblings? Well, I just learned some wild things about this sibling, Christine Maxwell, from her very own bio on the Institute for the Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policy, because of course the Maxwell family is involved in shaping global anti-Semitism policy. But anywho, I bet you didn't know that Christine Maxwell has career experience in schoolbook editing. Read it for yourself. Christine Maxwell is a professional lifelong learner with career experiences in grade school teaching and school book editing.
What did I tell you? Now, here's the wild part. When we go to this website, and you let me know if I'm seeing things, the Institute for the Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policy. Okay, well, let's go to the fellows, because she was a fellow. If you look at her LinkedIn page, which is here, Christine Maxwell, PhD, and if you scroll down, let's see right about here. In fact, it's the most recent experience from November 2021 to present, unless she did not update this. But to present, it says that she was a research fellow at the Institute for Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policy. It also says self-employed, right? So explain to me why now, when I look at this site and I go to the research fellows, they're in alphabetical order, so you can follow me here on the right panel. When we scroll down, let's get to the M's. There's some M's in this house. There's some M's in this house. Right here. Okay. I don't know about you, but I don't see Christine Maxwell. All of a sudden, and we can do the search. We can search here. Just to double check, just to make sure I am not seeing things. So I search right here at the bottom, Christine Maxwell. Nothing. What if I just search Maxwell? We see Miriam F. Ellman, which says Maxwell School of Citizenship, but all of a sudden, she's gone. And again, on her LinkedIn page, research fellow, ISGAP. I go back, ISGAP, the research fellows. All of a sudden, her name and her picture is gone. So I don't know what's going on. Measurement said, remember what Candace said, that they make slow, small changes until they erase themselves. To do it all at once creates suspicion. It's just gone. So I'm going to go back to his video. Are we all looking at the same thing? Yeah.
What are you doing editing school books, Christine? And we are just getting started. She also has experience as the director of research.
Look at this. Some part of this I can't play because I know how YouTube is. So we're just going to fast forward a little bit here. But look at this. Where is this profile? It is no longer there. Christine Maxwell, 2022 Research Fellow. Again, I'm going to go back. Christine is not here. I don't know. So I'm going to go to the search bar here. Try it again. Let's see what comes up. First thing says certificate program in critical contemporary anti-Semitism studies. Let's click on this and see. Do we see Christine's name here? I mean, it's just wild to me. Search right here. Setting precedents, by not following protocol by Dr. Christine Maxwell, spring of 2025. So you do have a piece of literature here from Dr. Christine Maxwell, but that still doesn't explain why her profile is just all of a sudden gone. Funny how that happens. But it gets crazier than that. She has a twin sister, and something really weird happened. Like, I don't know what it is with this family, but check this out. This was reported back in 2019. Ghislaine Maxwell's twin sisters have their own wild stories. Can't believe I had never seen this before until now. So let's get into Christine and Isabel. They're 20s. Christine and Isabel had more freedom to strike out on their own after the demise of the Maxwell Empire. In the 1980s, they decamped to Silicon Valley, and in 1993, they helped co-found Magellan. We were talking about that earlier. Goes on to say here, Magellan was an early search engine. Remember that. With Isabel's then husband, David Hayden. According to the Daily Beast, the sisters appear in Michael Wolff's book on .com startups, Burn Rate. Wolff describes Christine as more commanding than her sister. But both Maxwells are memorable characters, early Winklevoss prototypes. In a 1997 interview, Isabel credits her sister with coming up with the idea of reviewing and rating. Check this part out. The twins made millions when Magellan was sold to another company, Excite, but according to Isabel, it cooled the relationship between the two of them. When McKinley, Magellan's parent company, didn't make it, our relationship changed. This is what Isabel said in 2002. And I changed in terms of my relationship with my family. Before then, I was completely in sync with the family. When something got to them, it got to me too. Now, let's get into the part about the hubs. Both sisters seem to have remained in the software and technology spheres. Christine is a doctoral candidate in the humanities department at the University of Texas at Dallas and continues to consult for internet companies. Her UTD website lists a personal website, christinesworld.com, which is no longer active, but it does have a brief personal statement that she came to the university in January 2012 and is enjoying academia and the associated activities of big city life very much. It's much different than the French countryside where I was working on my own internet content projects. After Magellan, Isabel was the president of an Israeli email venture called ComTouch and has continued to work in the country. So we have both sisters, the twins, having their hands in Israeli business. Let's continue on here. She has used the title Technology Pioneer of the World Economic Forum. In a 2000 interview, she displays Zuckerbergian enthusiasm for the internet. The wonderful thing about email is it's not sexist. Check out what happened to the husbands. The Maxwell twins' husbands have truly bizarre histories, which has led observers to point out that they share Ghislaine's association with powerful, unconventional men. Christine is married to Roger Molina, an astrophysicist at the University of Texas, whose father, Frank Molina, was also a scientist. Molina, the Daily Beast reveals, hung out in California with the likes of Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard and rocket engineer Jack Parsons, occultists and transhumanists, a strange echo of Jeffrey Epstein's friends in similar academic and business circles. So Christine, like Ghislaine, seemed to hang out with people that were a part of the occults and people that were transhumanists. It's all in the family. And wait till you hear, I'm not even going to get into the Scientology part because it's some creepy things about Scientology. I think I need a whole separate episode on that. Wait till you hear what happened to Isabel's husband. And let me know if this sounds familiar to you. Isabel's romantic history might be the strangest. First, she married the son of Carl Djerassi, a scientist who invented the birth control pill. Her third husband, Al Seckel, was a con man and an optical illusionist who befriended scientists and academics despite having a degree in those fields himself. Does this sound familiar? Ghislaine Maxwell's sister Isabel, who is the twin of Christine, married a guy named Al Seckel who engaged with scientists in academics and was a con man. Sounds like Jeffrey Epstein, doesn't it? Crazier things have happened, though. It goes on to say he co-founded a group called the Southern California Skeptics that investigated scientists' relationship to the paranormal. Secco and Isabel moved to France around 2010. Listen to how he died. They lived in a chateau and acquired thousands of Stone Age tools to sell in the US. That same year, Secco hosted a scientific conference on Jeffrey Epstein's private island, where Epstein also allegedly held underage girls for sex. Presumably, the connection was Isabel's little sister, Ghislaine. Secco died in 2015 from a rumored fall off of a cliff near his home, not unlike Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine and Isabel and Christine's daddy. Secco died just a few weeks after an article in Tablet magazine exposed his fraudulent past and his mounting debts. Hidden in plain sight. That article was in 2019. I just found out about it. It's also interesting, too, when you see here, someone even questioned Grok about this. Grok is an AI tool on X, formerly Twitter. Yes, Ghislaine Maxwell has siblings with U.S. intel ties. Christine Maxwell co-founded Chiliad, providing data mining software to the FBI counterterrorism warehouse post 9/11, enabling searches across agencies like the CIA and the NSA. Isabel Maxwell led Israeli firms ComTouch and Incognito with board roles at Perez Center for Peace and Israel Venture Network. Ties to Israel, Isabel roles in Israeli tech and security. Family patriarch Robert Maxwell allegedly worked for Mossad. So when you see this picture, which everybody has been talking about, and if something looks off to you, because this is the picture of Ghislaine Maxwell that many people are familiar with. We know it's a couple years ago. We get it. And this is the image of Ghislaine Maxwell in prison. Now, I want to know, how did Ghislaine Maxwell's nose go from this to that? How did her nose all of a sudden get shorter? Is Ghislaine Maxwell having plastic surgery in prison? Yeah, I know she has glasses on. I know she's older now. I totally get it. But how does your nose change like that? The eyes don't look the same. So many people have been questioning this, and honestly, they have a right to do so. That don't look like the same person to me, boo. And now you see that she had two sisters that were connected to intelligence, one Israel intelligence, the other one FBI intelligence right here. And you need to ask yourself if that was really Ghislaine in that prison. Because when people would say this years ago, I would call them spooks or like crazies. I was like, these people are crazy. They're nut jobs to think this way. After everything that I've seen over the years, especially with these Epstein files and the access that they had, nothing surprises me anymore. So who is that? It's all in the family, hidden in plain sight. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.